morning and welcome to the Boston University Parents Program radio broadcast. I am Daryl, DeLuca, Assistant Dean of Students at Boston University, and we are broadcasting today live from Summer Orientation Session number 5, which is transfer orientation, and we are delighted to welcome all of these new BU Terriers as transfer students to Boston University. And Christy, I am thrilled that these parents showed up last night and came to our events.
I am too, Daryl. I think they had a wonderful time at orientation. They've learned a lot about Boston University. They really get a sense of what the BU community is all about and the fantastic support networks that are available to their students. I also think they had a great time at our jazz reception. They joined us late night from 10 to 11 for chamomile and cookies. So we've kept them busy from 7:30 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. We were on the go.
And I think as parents of transfer students, they are just more so reassured of all, as you pointed out, the services and resources and the availability of the deans and the entire staff to be able to support their sons and daughters and students in their transition to academic life at Boston University.
Absolutely. And another thing that's very important is the students finding the right connections, the right groups and activities to meet their interests. And so one of the things that we're going to talk about this morning, which I think is very important, is sustainability at Boston University and the many ways our students can become involved in sustainability on campus. So I'd like to introduce my colleague, Dennis Carlberg, who is the Sustainability Director here at Boston University. And before the show, I think you mentioned that the program has been in place at the university for 8.5 years. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So congratulations.
Thanks.
That's really a fantastic milestone. And if you could start off just telling us a little bit about yourself and the department.
Well, really what we're trying to accomplish here is changing the culture, which I think we've been working on, and I think we've been successful, but clearly there's a long way to go.
Sure.
And one of the most exciting things, I think, is the trustees at Boston University have asked us to put together a climate action plan that is integrated with the university's strategic plan.
That's fantastic.
So we have a faculty-led initiative. We're taking about a year to get through this process.
Okay.
We have 18 members, including undergraduate students and graduate students, faculty, and a few staff. And it's chaired by the director of the Pardee Center for the Study of the Longer Range Future, which is really looking at the longer range issues, including climate change. So putting a climate action plan together is important. We've already reduced our greenhouse gas emissions by 25% from a 2006 base year.
Wow, 25%.
And our goal was to do that by 2020. So we're really scheduled. But we have a lot of hard work left in front of us, and I think putting a really good plan together is what we're about right now. And what is exciting, and I want to make sure that parents and students really know this, is we're going to be releasing the Climate Action Plan draft in really when everybody's coming back to campus.
Okay.
So we want our students and parents, alumni, faculty, staff, everybody to weigh in on our recommendations and help us shape it. I think it's really well developed, but we want to do it the best we can to make it perfect.
Great.
If we can do that.
So you'll be in a great position to be able to take recommendations and suggestions from all of these communities.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's really about Boston University, about the Boston University community, and what we can all do together to move us to a more sustainable future.
And before we started this radio show, you were surrounded by a group of, I believe, sustainability ambassadors. That's something that our students are very involved in. Can you tell us how the students become involved as an ambassador and what they do?
Sure. This is a program we started last year for orientation. We have 8 ambassadors who go along through the student leadership training with all the students that you see in red shirts and green shirts and
summer student leadership staff.
Yep. So there's a range of student leaders and set of responsibilities, and there's a group that we help train around the sustainability issues that we're working on campus, and really to help incoming students understand what the opportunities are for them, what their interests are, whether it's Earth House or whether it's sustainable student organizations or courses. Some resource, we have good resources there, and what we're doing on campus, what we've been doing, where we plan on going with what the program is. We spend a lot of time with them so they can get up to speed and understand not only what's happening on campus with new green buildings and LEED certification, but what's actually happening in the Boston community. And we're a big part of the Boston community, and we take that very seriously. We're very fortunate to be in a place that is a leader. The city of Boston is a leader. It's been a leader 4 years in a row, and the most energy efficient city in the country. And we're part of that.
Yes.
And our movement, and we're one of the largest employers, we're one of the largest landholders in the city. We have an important role in helping the city move towards its greenhouse gas reduction goals. So this all works together.
BU's Charles River campus, and not to mention the medical school campus, as you pointed out, Dennis, is an enormous footprint in Boston. Enormous. And you talked about one of the goals was changing the culture.
Yep.
What is one of the largest or biggest challenges in doing so, changing the culture? And I know it's constantly moving and shaping as we bring in new faculty, staff, and undergraduate and graduate students every year.
Yep. Well, there are a few things. Patience is the hardest.
I'm sure.
Parents can relate to patience.
Yeah, very much so, as one I can attest. But I think it takes investment, and those investments pay off quickly, but there's still an upfront need to invest in what we're trying to do. But changing the culture is really about making things available to our students. When I started, we had, I think, we definitely had two. Maybe we had 3 sustainable student organizations. Now we have 24.
Oh my goodness.
That have to do with very different issue areas. I love the beekeeping club, and there's this, there are a bunch. And one of the great things I think we do is when students are fairly new on campus in early September, mid-September, we have a sustainability festival. And the intent of that festival, it's a big festival. We include a lot of the bike safety.
It's a great festival.
It's great. It's always a gorgeous day. Always.
But encourage students to come.
Oh, yeah, it's just, and it's a lot of fun. And the first intent of that is to bring all the leaders of the sustainable student organizations together so that incoming students can talk to them and find out where they want to be, what they want to get involved in. Some of them get involved with too many, and of course they do. They want to do everything. So if they can scale back later on, but try a bunch of things out, and then choose what the right thing is. But certainly this gives our students, incoming students particularly, but really all of our students on campus, an opportunity to learn more about what's going on and how they want to get engaged. Because it's through the engagement of our students, our faculty, our staff, and everybody that we can move along a more sustainable pathway.
And one of the things that you do that I think parents and students notice right off is during move-in weekend. And I have been at BU for a while, and I have noticed this difference. And can you talk about what you do during move-in weekend to help?
Certainly. There are a lot of students moving in. There's a lot of stuff that's getting moved in. I guess the first order of business is don't bring a lot of stuff, because there's not a lot of space in the rooms to be
From one parent to another. That's excellent advice.
It's hard, but it's important. But there's lots of cardboard boxes that come. So we collect those, we put up corrals for parents and students to
And they're throughout the campus.
They're throughout, so at every large dorm, and then a couple on Bay State Road, and then on South Campus there are a few where people can leave their cardboard so we can recycle that. We typically recycle about 29 tons of cardboard every year. Wow. So there's a lot. And, that gets recycled now.
That's making a huge difference.
Yeah.
And 10 years ago, it was probably going in a dumpster.
It was exactly where it was going.
Absolutely.
Absolutely where it was going. Yeah.
The other thing that I have noticed as a great change, that impact that you and your team has made, is also on move-out. You do an amazing amount of work during move-out. Can you tell us about that?
Move-out is awesome because we partner with Goodwill, which comes to campus and collects all the stuff that students leave behind.
Which is an enormous amount.
Yeah, it's about 100, literally, it's about 100 tons a year. And so we've collected almost 600 tons of perfectly good stuff over the years. That goes to Goodwill. It supports the community efforts that they make for job training, for programs for kids in the summer, all the great stuff they do. And, we see this stuff back sort of on campus at the Goodwill store.
Sure,
so
absolutely.
people can
They get to
pick that up.
see.
Yeah, but it's a great way to, it's being part of the community.
Yes.
So Dennis, let's remind parents again, leave the second U-Haul at home.
The first U-Haul
There's only about 180, 200 square feet in a typical freshman student residence.
Yep.
And leave the second U-Haul at home. That line is taken, by the way, from Mark Robilal, our Executive Director of Housing.
What I want to see is, I want to start a competition to see who can bring the least amount of stuff.
Yeah.
That would be cool. That would be a blast. We need to figure out how to do that.
That's a great challenge. You can put it out there.
Yeah.
So another great thing that I believe you do is with the Red Sox. Do you still have a partnership?
Well, there is a part, it's really the university's partnership with the Red Sox, but there's a green team for the Red Sox. You get in free, and you collect recyclables during the game, and you get to watch the game. You've got work to do.
Sure.
And it's a good team.
A great way for students to come together as a group
Yep.
and to go see a Red Sox game, but also do some really great work.
Yeah, it's a program that's been around for a while before I started here, and it's just one of those things that we're able to, there's so many great things that go on here that we can just sort of pick up and leverage and make better.
Most certainly.
Dennis, you mentioned there are nearly 200 student clubs that have some sort of impact.
200.
Excuse me.
24.
Oh, my God. What I meant to say was 24 student clubs and organizations that have an impact on sustainability. Do they attend the University Splash event as well? I know they attend
most of them do, not all of them
the
do.
festival,
Yeah.
right? But that's another opportunity for
Absolutely.
students to become engaged in and to look for those kind of programs or those kind of clubs and organizations that have an impact directly on the Boston University campus as well as the Boston community.
Yeah. It's a lot of
Stand
fun.
corrected, not 200, 2 dozen clubs.
And Dennis, as students are becoming more immersed in the Boston University community, tell us about Earth House.
Yeah.
It's a great
Earth House is a really cool program.
Program.
Yeah. Earth House is a community of 19 students. It's a brownstone on South Campus. That's where the Earth House resides. It is open to students from across the university, and it we really just got it off the ground last year. It's a 2-course per term, 2-credit per term course that you get for living in Earth House,
Okay.
and then participating in a 2-hour class every week. And it's really student-driven. I mean, it's faculty-led, but student-driven. Students really drive where the conversation goes, where the learning goes. And what I find really exciting is we're looking at the house itself as the object of inquiry for research, for education. So understanding the water systems and waste systems, the energy systems, and really working together with the students, exploring ways to reduce the energy consumption of the house.
So it's a living, learning community in the truest sense of the word, in that the house is the study or research project, if you will.
Yes.
That's
And
fantastic.
there's, the great ideas that the students are coming up with, and we're implementing what we can. And but it's not like, go do this. It's like, this is what, let's just take an energy efficiency project. We're wanting to do an energy efficiency project around LED lighting.
Okay.
How do we do that? Well, before we go get the university to go change all the light bulbs, let's figure out what the economics are. Let's
Okay.
understand the energy savings. Let's understand the carbon improvement, carbon reduction. So what are all those implications? What's the waste? All those things, so that they can understand the actual mechanisms for getting things done. Another cool thing that they came up with was part of a bike plan to help connect South Campus with the main campus is one of the issues that they were feeling. And so rather than going off and drawing up a plan, we got them involved with the people at the university in government relations who can help them understand the connections to the city and particular location they wanted was multiple jurisdictions, Boston, Brookline, and Mass DOT.
Okay,
So it's a lot to
interesting.
deal with.
Another important project that I know you're working on, it's on the forefront of your mind, is the Climate Action Plan. Can you tell us more about this and specifically the task force and how students are involved with that?
Sure. Well, as I mentioned earlier, we have an 18-member task force. We have 2 undergraduates, 2 graduate students that are involved. Actually, one of the graduate students is chairing one of the working groups. And that working group is on transportation and mobility.
Okay.
So I should back up. There are 4 working groups: energy, obviously, transportation, supply chain and waste stream, and preparing for climate change. So there's, and which is something we've been working on for a while, and the city's certainly working on it. But how do we prepare our campus for the impacts from climate change? So, and some of our interns, I mean, that's the great thing. One of my favorite things about my job is I've got a team of students who really do the heavy lift on our work, including a lot of the work for the background metrics and research on what we need to be doing to address certain issues within the Climate Action Plan.
It's
On
fantastic.
behalf of the Dean of Students Office, I just want to congratulate you that you have been recognized in your work and your team has been recognized by the Board of Trustees to develop this
Yes.
climate action plan. It's extraordinary.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's absolutely amazing. We only have a couple minutes left, so I know you mentioned that if parents or students, once it's out there, can give feedback. Can you talk about how best to reach your office and your website and your phone number?
Thank you. We have a special website set up for the Climate Action Plan. It's simple. It's bu.edu/Climate Action Plan. And they're right up on the homepage are ways you can get engaged with the process, events that are coming up, weigh in on what you hear in those forums. We have a 24-hour or 48-hour period where after the forum there's online Q&A.
Okay.
And it's not as live as I'd like it because we can't all stay up all the time. But, I think it's pretty effective. And then contact us directly through the contact link. There's all the information about the history of the development of the charge to do
The timeline is really fantastic.
So, and it's continuing. Right?
Yes,
So,
yes, exactly. That's probably the most exciting
But
part.
I think the most important thing is in September and October, the plan will be public for the BU community to weigh in on what they think about it and give us your ideas.
That's great.
So we can put together as good a plan as we possibly can and get it to the trustees in the final form for their December meetings, what our goal is.
That's timely because it's Friends and Family Weekend in October also, and parents will be visiting. Give us your website again and an email address.
Well, the website for our website is bu.edu/sustainability. That talks about everything we're doing on campus and elsewhere. My email address, well, actually the best email address to use is simple. It's sustainability@bu.edu.
Perfect.
And we have a team that manages that. So if I don't get back to you, somebody
Someone will, certainly. That's great.
So-
Wonderful.
Well, thank you so much, Dennis, for dropping in. I know you've been here before, and we certainly hope that you'll come back because
I love this.
this conversation can be endless, and we could do it almost once a week.
Absolutely.
Absolutely could. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Daryl.
It's great to have you.